All right, it is 6:30 on Monday, April 9th, and we are calling to order our personnel meeting. Present are myself, Leslie Jones, Kim Campworth, Debbie Stearns, Dr. Goggins, and Lisa Bicek. Okay, I would never know this Bicek. And Matthew Jr. All right.
First item up for bid here is maternity leave for Caitlin Kelly, PE teacher at Bremen. Beginning of next school year until October. Pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Okay. Second piece is a resignation of one of our science tutors at Hillcrest High School. You can see why there. Her husband had an issue. So probably won't be looking to replace this from now till the end of the year. We'll start looking for somebody in the fall. It's one of those ancillary positions, $100 a day.
What if someone needs something though?
Well, the only problem is we can only offer them the position for another month. So the likelihood of finding somebody's probably
Has she
not
been
there.
out since November of 2017?
No.
Oh, because she's been unable to work since then.
Right.
Do we know
It's
how many
kinda
kids
been on and off.
utilized?
Oh, okay.
The FLC?
The science tutor.
Oh, a whole bunch.
She the only one?
No. No, there's 3 there.
So that seems kind of me. If a whole bunch used them and we have like finals coming up and we're not going to have anybody there to help them, can we post something at like
We can
St.
do it.
Xavier, Governor
Yeah.
State or something? I don't
Yeah.
know what.
Who what?
Post something, maybe get college student. Don't feel good about going without.
For the just to the remainder of the year, right? To help get through finals and
Okay.
stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. John Richter is a business teacher at Tinley Park. He will be retiring in 2022. This is his letter requesting approval to retire. You guys know John? He's been in the district a while.
Long time.
He was a dean for a long time. Good dude. All right, and then this past year, we had 2 part-time counselors, one at Oak Forest and one at Hillcrest High School. They were both 50%. Last board meeting, you guys approved an additional half-time at each of those 2 buildings. So these 2, the next 2 people here, Eric Boyer and Robin Vila, who you saw present at the board meeting at Hillcrest. Oak Forest loves this guy, Eric Boyer, and Hillcrest likes Robin Vila, so we've offered them full-time positions and are recommending them for full-time. So it was good that we were able to have them on our minor league team, if you will. Now they're going to be recommended for the major league team.
Mm-hmm.
There's Eric's information. Okay, and then, as I said, Robin Vila, who you saw present on college and career information. It was a slideshow where she took the kids to the colleges. Had speakers come in, talk with them, etc. So we're recommending her full-time for next year. All right. And then there's 2, here's her information. It's probably my son texting me to tell me how wonderful he did in his baseball game. And he did. Anybody want to know?
Yeah.
1 for 2 with a walk and a double and a strikeout.
Nice.
Probably could have been a home run with the warm bat.
Probably. Probably. If it was a warm bat, it would have been a homer.
Hunting socks, I'm telling you.
Okay, I have to think about that. All right, then, we have 2 new positions that we're recommending. One of them is why Lisa is here. She doesn't normally like to join us unless she...
I would if you invite me more often.
Unless she feels really important and has the opportunity to speak at these meetings. But she's not first. So the first position is the Alternative Education Director. Last board meeting, you saw a presentation regarding the alternative education that's going to be happening at South Suburban College. This position is for the administrator of that. And I will show you the job description. Not this stuff, that's just kind of mumbo jumbo. But here's the performance responsibilities. And if approved if you recommend and if approved at the board meeting on Tuesday, then we will post it on Wednesday. Any questions about that position? All right. We're saving them all for Lisa. Good. We're good with that
Wait a
one?
second.
Yeah.
This person does not have to attend IEPs?
That's a good question. Good thing our Director of Special Ed is here.
See, it is a good thing. They may, if there's maybe a problem, I would say. But the LEA rep for these meetings will likely be the mental health professional that we're going to hire. Typically, I have school psychologists who do a lot of that work at all of our outside placements, and we consider this similar. And that mental health person will probably be the LEA rep for those meetings. So if there was maybe a problem, since this person monitors student attendance and behavior, with attendance or behavior, they might want the director to step in and kind of help figure out what the problem is and kind of troubleshoot some solutions. But probably not necessary for them to be at all IEP meetings. But it could go under attend relevant school district professional meetings if necessary for them to be there.
Cool. Glad you were here, Lisa. All right, and then the next position is, there's a lot of information here.
I'm sorry, what's the salary we're offering for that position? The one you just showed us?
It would be based upon experience. There's no specific
Is
salary.
there a
at
range
this
you're
point in
starting
time.
at, a range or anything?
I would say minimum would be somewhere around 80.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, it all depends on who the person is. Okay, so Lisa has brought an idea forward to Dr. Kendall and myself that she is interested in proposing an additional special ed coordinator for curriculum and instructional supports. And there's a lot of information here. And I'll let her, if she wants to go page by page, great. If you want to paraphrase, that's good too, Lisa.
Sure.
let me know what
So
you wanna do.
thanks for having me, board members. So I'm here to talk to you about increasing the administrative support for my department. Over the past 5 years, we've grown pretty tremendously in our programming that we've been able to provide students. We've added some additional programs that have allowed us to bring students from out-of-district placements back into the home schools. We've created bridges at Oak Forest. We've created core at Hillcrest. And then next year we're creating Achieve within the new program at South Suburban College. In addition, I think it was 7 years ago, we created Excel. We've tried to exponentially grow our opportunities for our students to be successful within our homeschool buildings. In addition, we've really worked hard at revising and aligning our curriculum so that it matches the gen ed curriculum. We've added a half resource period for all of our IEP students to meet with our case manager that's kind of attached to their lunch as opposed to like a study hall. Instead, they're meeting with their case manager to look at grades, how am I doing, look at how am I progressing on my IEP goals. And we're adding some additional social emotional support staff members. We're adding social workers and psychologists. You approved last board meeting at Tinley and Bremen. I've added an internship program for both social work interns and psychology interns to the districts. So we added a lot of support, and we want to continue being able to supervise and make sure those programs are running efficiently. Right now, special education, unlike some of the other curricular areas like English and math, doesn't have one dedicated person who's in charge of all of the curriculum pieces. Mike Boniface, who's one of my special ed coordinators, and myself do most of that work in conjunction with each other. Mike doing, I would say, 90% of it, and me supporting him. But he's also tasked with doing IEP meetings and manifestation determination meetings for students in special ed, working with parents, working with the buildings, coaching up teachers, and adding a third person who's just going to focus on our curriculum and our instructional support. So looking at co-teaching and how can we be more effective, running a co-teaching committee, bringing gen ed teachers and special ed teachers together to really refine that process. Is something I'd like to do so that someone can be focused just on curriculum and those instructional supports, and leaving the two coordinators and myself to do the other work of special ed, really working on those services and that programming option. It would be a 10-month position similar to all of our other supervisors in the curricular areas. Like I said, they'd be in charge of really working on revising curriculum like the other supervisors do, looking at co-teaching, looking at AIT. I have an attached job description.
We'll get to that.
We will. So the projected outcomes, curriculum will be aligned to the gen ed curriculum, which provides students more opportunity and access. A goal of this person, and they would be kind of setting forth a plan, would be looking at all of our scores, looking at CRT scores, looking at SAT scores, classroom district state assessments, will be how to analyze it and work with our teachers to remedy deficits. And then allowing this person to join our team would provide an opportunity for myself and the other coordinators to increase those in-district offerings like we have with Achieve, with Excel, with Bridges, with Core, so that we can bring more students from out placements into homeschool programs and buildings. This is, my goal is for this to be a support to the teachers, so that someone that they can work on curriculum with, someone they can work on their instructional strategies with, because often Mike and Jackie are pulled between two buildings each, and they're not always available. And one thing
Did you want me to go back?
Dan just skipped over is I'm proposing paying for this out of my special ed idea grant. So it would be no additional cost to the district. It would come from federal dollars that we currently receive through a grant that I apply for every year, and go from there. I'm ready for Johnny's got questions.
So we're talking about these are not kids who are taking gen ed courses.
Right now, this person works with writing our self-contained curriculum courses, but also works with the gen ed supervisor, like the English supervisor, to work on co-taught classes as well. So it is some students who do take co-taught classes.
How are we doing with the 70-30 variance thing this year?
We struggle. We do get a lot of move-in students who come in. I've applied for, the state, I can't think of the word right
waiver
now.
or whatever.
The waivers,
Yeah.
yes. And when we get approved, but that's always something this person would be looking at, is working with the four assistant
Yeah, that's where I was
superintendents,
going.
assistant superintendents, the four assistant principals of student services, to really hit those over the summer and make sure if we can make some movements happen.
But no, it's 10-month positions, so they would be.
They do have summer days.
They do have some
Mhm.
summer days.
Yeah, I think
It's 195 days. Is
I think
that what they do?
my coordinators are 200 total,
200.
so it's 12 days after 20 days after students. Usually they split that up 10 at the end of the school year, 10 before the school year starts, or they mix it up in the middle.
Does our staff go through any training for co-taught?
You know, we had one, I would say probably 10 years ago. There was a district committee through induction. I know there is, like, one of the induction classes is co-teaching or reaching students in, you know, a co-taught class. But there's no formalized training. So that's something definitely I want this person
Yeah,
to focus
that's
on.
kind of an issue from what I hear too as well. It's like aides that could participate more in the classroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I have.
Good? Good?
Where are we going to put all these people?
One person then for all 4 of the buildings, and you think that that's achievable for that one person to do? To
I do, 'cause it's
meet the
similar-
goals you have?
Because it would be similar to like an English. We only have one English supervisor for the district, and they
Right.
do all the English curriculum and supporting all the English teachers. So I do think that if this person focused solely on curriculum and able to then support teachers, addition with me and the 2 other coordinators, I think it would
Yeah. Then that frees up the other 2 coordinators' time to maybe.
work with parents, work
Dig a little
with
deeper
yes,
into the family
day-to-day
needs.
things.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
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 Cool. Stick around, Lisa. I've got some more stuff to do.
Oh.
All right, so now we're on to the ed support personnel. First recommendation here is retirement request by Nancy Gordon. She's the attendance secretary at Hillcrest High School. I think she's the 5th person now who's taken advantage of that provision we put in the contract, or will be taking advantage. So I know the initial upfront cost for those bonuses is there, but the savings in the long run is puts us in a better position. So I anticipate more as we, their deadline is next June, not this June, but next June. And the most succinct retirement letter in the history
What?
of
She said what she had to say.
retirement letters. She said what she had to say. All right, then we have a recommendation for special ed aide Brian Scheit at Oak Forest High School. Here's his rationale for selection. He's a known person, been subbing for us. And here's what he's been doing. Sub, you know that piece.
Fisheries technician. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, he is a biology major. Yes, biological sciences from Marquette University. I think you gotta be pretty smart to go there last time we checked.
It'd
All
be
right.
interesting if he could start something with all those kids that want to go work for the DNR. That'd be cool.
That would be. Okay. I assume he'll be in science classes, yes?
I hope so.
I do too.
I'll tell Mike.
Hey, tell Mike, yes. I think he probably will be. All right, then I have 1, 2, 3 weekend custodians. One at Bremen, two at Bremen and one at Tinley Park. Okay. Joel Laudadio for Bremen. Here's his info. All right, any questions about that information?
No.
Then we have Mario Rivera for Tinley Park. There's his info.
Okay.
And here's what he's been doing. That must be the internal. Oh, we have an internal app. Okay. And then we have Wesley Barber at Bremen High School. All right, so there's your rationale, and here's what he's been doing. All right. And then last but not least, Al Reed is currently a custodian at Oak Forest High School. We're recommending that he move to general maintenance position. To reflect a lot of the work that he's already currently doing.
Don't they already have a maintenance person?
They have an evening one.
This for days.
He's days, yes.
The only concern I have is there's, what's the difference in this salary versus what he's making now?
About $4,000 or $5,000.
Is he going to be doing work that some of the other people are supposed to be doing, like the carpenter or the other HVAC guy, or?
Not going to be doing certified work, no. General maintenance. So locker needs fixed.
And there's just more than the other guy can handle? And why can't the other guy do this stuff?
Well, they can. They can. This is part of that pilot that we're working on at Oak Forest High School. They believe.
See, this is
they
the pilot that Bill
they-
just told me is never going to happen.
He did.
That I just said at the last board meeting for the people not to worry about it. Yeah.
Well, it's starting next Monday.
Really?
Yeah. So, third shift employees are no longer going to be on third shift. They're going to second shift. We're still going to have weekenders until they transition out, whether it be they get a new job or something of that nature, and then we'll look at hiring somebody in a like a Tuesday to Saturday role full time, because we, as you guys see all the time, we have a lot of turnover in our weekend custodial position and not very good supervision of those individuals. So we're looking to transition multiple positions into full-time, a single or two full-time positions to cover what they currently do on the weekends.
Yeah, but that's.
And then this is a situation where, as you guys know, who've been around a few years, we initially got away from the general maintenance person at the building and decided to hire certified maintenance people. The certified maintenance people are booked with work orders in working on our HVAC systems, our electrical systems.
Yeah, but they're not
doing
so booked,
carpentry.
and we're paying them like we're paying the guys who make 70 and 80 grand to set up for assemblies. Or this guy and another guy last week went to pick up the athletic vans, and they're like our higher paid guys. Why are they doing that and not doing their jobs?
Well, this guy is currently working as a custodian, but he also does a lot of the general maintenance that goes on at Oak Forest High School. So what Oak Forest would like to do in this pilot is actually have somebody during the school day that they can assign those menial tasks, if you will, so that our certified guys can actually do the work that we've hired them to do. And the custodians then can just focus on cleaning. That's the general idea.
They shouldn't be setting up for assemblies anyway, the certified guys.
No, I mean, not,
Or
absolutely
why
not.
is he picking up athletic vans?
No, not as part of their major job, absolutely not. And I don't think they are. I don't think as the majority of their workload are they doing that. I mean, Terry would know better than I.
No, he wouldn't. 'Cause
Okay.
he's insulated
Okay. Well,
when he shouldn't be.
okay.
So then are we also going to be hiring to replace him for shift?
No, they're not going to get it. They're not getting additional people.
So who's going to do his duties?
Well, somebody, as I said, the people in the third shift are moving to second. The duties that he is currently doing is being offered to second shift and third shift to see if one of those individuals wants to change their shift. To go so that they have the custodial coverage that they currently have. But they're not getting, I would be here asking for additional staff, but we're not doing that. We're working with the numbers that we currently have.
And there typically is third shift, and that's being eliminated?
In this pilot, yes.
Okay.
And it's kind of the same situation as our weekend situation. We don't have a supervisor. There's been a lot of questions about whether or not it's efficient and, what are they getting accomplished kind of thing. And we've had them for a long time, as long as I've been here, and there's always been concerns. And so trying to change what we've been doing by piling in this new system at Oak Forest, hopefully it's going to work, and I think it will. And then we'll see how it rolls out to the rest of the district. Debbie's doesn't think it's going to work, but I'm willing to bet it will.
So you're looking to do like a Tuesday through Saturday and Sunday through Thursday, or just overlapping, said one person
You know what?
responsible for the whole weekend?
Yeah, we're actually looking not to have anybody at night from 11 o'clock until 7 in the morning. We're also looking to not have anybody on Sundays.
No Sunday.
Currently, we have weekenders on Sundays, but
Mm-hmm.
we really only hold maybe 6 events or activities a year in our buildings on Sundays. And we would still employ people if that was the
As
case,
needed.
but it would be overtime or something like that.
Uh-huh.
What people would you employ
The current employees,
so they get overtime? then?
offer them overtime for that, yeah. But we're looking at a mid-shift, I don't know what you call it, but I'm calling it mid-shift, where it'd be like a Tuesday through Saturday, and it would be a 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, as opposed to like what we have now, which is they start at 7 and go to like 3:30, and then we have a 3:30 to 11 o'clock
Uh-huh.
shift, so. Okay, so that's the plan. It'll work.
Mhm.
We'll vote on it.
The
after.
first time there's a parent who can't get something they want, or a kid can't get back in the building, or who's going to open the door for the milk guy, or who's going to do this or that.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We know we needed to make changes because we've heard concerns for quite some time. So I think we got a pretty good plan. We'll see how it works out.
All right.
All right? And that's all I have. All right? Thank you.